There is a reason the samurai were feared on the battlefield and respected long after their swords were laid to rest. It wasn't just their strength. It wasn't just their discipline. It was even their willingness to die. It was their mind. A samurai didn't think like other men. He didn't react like other men. He didn't panic like other men. And he didn't fight battles the way the rest of the world did, where ordinary people saw chaos. The samurai saw patterns. Where others felt fear, the samurai felt clarity. Where others hesitated, the samurai moved with precision. This is why their strategy, the way they fought, allowed them to win battles long before the swords were drawn. Today, you're going to learn exactly how they did it. Not the movie version, not the fantasy version, but the real mental framework that shaped samurai warfare, decision-making, and everyday life. Because a samurai didn't think like a warrior. He thought like a master of strategy. And if you learn to think the way they did, you start winning the battles of modern life. The battles of discipline, direction, focus, purpose, work, and self-control. So let's begin. The first principle: see the battle before it begins. A samurai believed every battle is won or lost before the first strike. The untrained man looks at the world and thinks, I'll deal with things when they happen. But the samurai says, by the time it happens, it's already too late. So he developed the habit of pre-seeing conflict, not predicting the future, but recognizing patterns, signals, shifts, before they explode into problems. For example, a samurai would never walk into a negotiation, a disagreement, a challenge, or a competition unprepared. He would observe the energy of the room, the posture of the opponent, the timing of events, the emotional tone, the unspoken intentions, because everything is a signal if you know how to look. This is why Musashi wrote, the primary thing when you take a sword in your hands is your intention to cut the enemy, not the intention to fight, not the intention to try, not the intention to see what happens. Intention creates victory. Samurai thinking begins with clarity. If your mind is scattered, your results will be scattered. If your purpose is blurry, your actions will be weak. If your soul is divided, your discipline collapses. So ask yourself, what battle are you trying to win? And have you already decided the outcome? This isn't motivation. This is samurai mentality. Clarity, focus, victory. The second principle: control your inner enemy first. Most men today think their enemy is coworkers, life circumstances, lack of money, lack of help, other people, competition. But the samurai laughs at these ideas. Why? Because the greatest enemy a man faces is the one that lives inside him. Fear, hesitation, laziness, self-doubt, weakness, emotion without discipline. A samurai was trained to defeat this enemy before touching a blade. This is why they meditated, not for spirituality, but for combat advantage. A calm man sees clearly. A calm man reacts accurately. A calm man doesn't get manipulated by emotions. A calm man becomes unpredictable and unstoppable. When you eliminate inner noise, you gain outer dominance. The samurai called this Fudshin, the immovable mind. Not rigid, not stubborn, but centered. Imagine this. Someone insults you. Someone challenges you. Someone pressures you. Someone provokes you. Most men get triggered. They respond emotionally. They react without thinking. But the samurai, he doesn't move internally. He observes. He pauses. He measures. He decides. He wins the moment because he doesn't lose himself inside it. If you want to think like a samurai, start here. Master your inner world. Your outer world will follow. The third principle: never fight a battle you don't need to win. The samurai were not violent machines. They were strategic. They didn't pick fights. They ended fights. They didn't chase battles. They chose battles. And the ones they chose, they dominated. This is one of the greatest samurai mental shifts. You don't need to fight every battle. You need to win the ones that matter. You don't argue with fools. You don't defend your pride. You don't waste energy on people who drain you. You don't chase validation. You don't explain yourself to those who don't listen. You don't try to prove your value. Why? Because every ounce of energy you waste on meaningless battles weakens your strength for the real ones. A samurai protected his energy and invested it only where it created advantage. When you stop fighting pointless battles, you gain the power to win meaningful ones. The fourth principle: move slow then strike fast. This may be the strangest idea in samurai thinking, but it's one of the deadliest. The samurai moved through the world slowly. Slow walking. Slow observation. Slow breathing. Slow emotional responses. Why? Because slowness builds awareness. Awareness builds accuracy. Accuracy wins battles. But when the moment to strike arrived, he moved with explosive speed. No hesitation. No doubt. No thinking. Just execution. This duality, soft outside, steel inside, was the foundation of samurai success. Most people are the opposite. They move fast mentally and slow physically. They panic, react, overthink, and overcompensate. But when it's time to act, they freeze. The samurai mastered the reverse. Calm mind. Explosive action. Slow, slow, slow. Then lightning. This is how battles and lives are won. The fifth principle: think from the end, not the beginning. A samurai never entered a situation asking, "How do I start?" He asked, "What is the final outcome and what path leads there?" This is the thinking of strategists, warlords, masters. Because beginnings are confusing, but endings are clear. If the end is victory, then the path becomes obvious. Cut distractions. Cut weakness. Cut fear. Cut useless movements. Cut emotional reactions. Cut everything except what leads to the goal. This is the samurai mind. Subtract until only the strategy remains. Most men lose because they add too much. Too many desires. Too many opinions. Too many emotions. Too many goals. Too many battles. Too many identities. The samurai removes everything until the path appears. The sixth principle: never let the opponent see your mind. A samurai understood something modern men forget. When people understand your emotions, they can control your actions. So samurai trained themselves to reveal nothing. No frustration. No excitement. No fear. No insecurity. No desperation. No eagerness. Because the moment an opponent can see your mind, he knows where you are weak. That's why the samurai face is expressionless. Why the samurai voice is controlled. Why the samurai posture is calm. Why the samurai breath is steady. Not because he lacked emotion, but because he refused to hand his enemy a map of his vulnerabilities. In modern life, this is a weapon. If people know what makes you angry, what makes you insecure, what makes you emotional, what makes you jealous, what makes you impulsive, then they can manipulate you. The samurai principle is simple. Be unreadable. Be unpredictable. Be unshakable. A man who cannot be read is a man who cannot be controlled. The seventh principle, observe everything, attach to nothing. Samurai developed a level of awareness that seems almost supernatural. They could notice tiny shifts in posture, detect lies by micro-expressions, sense danger before sound, read energy in a room, feel the intention behind an opponent's movement. But here's the secret. Their awareness was not fueled by anxiety, but by detachment. Because fear narrows perception. Attachment distorts perception. Desire blinds perception. A samurai learned to see the world as it is, not as he wished it to be. He observed everything, but clung to nothing. Not people, not outcomes, not emotions, not past defeats, not imagined futures. This allowed him to move with clarity, because his vision was not polluted by internal storms. Today, most men don't observe reality. They observe projections of their fears and desires. A samurai cuts through all that. He sees what is. This is why he wins. The eighth principle, the strategy of no sword. Musashi, Japan's greatest swordsman, taught the ultimate samurai strategy. The best way to win is to win without drawing the sword. This did not mean avoid conflict. It meant use your mind to end the battle before it begins. A samurai used positioning, timing, posture, presence, psychological pressure, calm dominance, to defeat opponents without violence. In modern life, the no-sword strategy is devastatingly effective. You win without fighting when you refuse to argue with fools. Stay calm when others rage. Maintain dignity when others fall apart. Let people expose their weakness while you remain centered. Create such clarity that others crumble under your certainty. A man who can win without fighting is a man who never stops winning. The ninth principle, accept death to remove fear. This is the most misunderstood samurai principle, but also the most powerful. A samurai was taught to meditate on death daily. Why? To eliminate fear of loss. Because fear of death is the root of fear of rejection, fear of failure, fear of embarrassment, fear of criticism, fear of taking risks, fear of starting, fear of ending, fear of change. When a man accepts the ultimate loss, all smaller fears dissolve. This does not mean being reckless. It means being unshackled. A samurai didn't fight to survive. He fought to express mastery. He wasn't trying to avoid danger. He was trying to win clearly. This mindset creates a level of freedom modern men rarely experience. When you stop fearing what can happen to you, you start doing what you must do. Fear leaves. Clarity enters. Action becomes sharp. This is samurai thought. Fear nothing. Respect everything. Move decisively. The 10th principle, live in the center of the moment. Samurai called it Sanshin, the remaining mind. A state where You are fully present, aware of every direction, calm but ready, relaxed but alert, focused but fluid. Modern people live with a scattered mind, thinking about the past, worrying about the future, lost in distraction, pulled by impulses, drowning in noise. The samurai lived differently. He placed his entire consciousness in the present moment, because that's where power lives. Presence makes reaction time faster. Presence makes decision-making cleaner. Presence makes emotions quieter. Presence makes results stronger. To think like a samurai, you must train your mind to stay here, now, fully. A present mind is a weapon. A distracted mind is a liability. The 11th principle: choose precision over force. Most people try to win life with brute effort. Work harder, push harder, try harder, force things, stress more, overwork, burn out. The samurai did the opposite. He believed one precise cut is worth more than 1,000 wild swings. He trained to eliminate unnecessary movement, not add more. This is the heart of samurai strategy. Efficiency over intensity, accuracy over effort, clarity over chaos. The samurai didn't waste energy. He spent it intentionally. If you want to think like a samurai, stop trying to do everything. Start trying to do the right things, with precision, focus, and purpose. One clear action can outperform 10 chaotic ones. The 12th principle: become the man others adapt to. This is the peak of samurai strategic mentality. Most men adapt to their environment, other people's moods, their circumstances, the energy of the room, pressure from outside, expectations around them. But a samurai trained to become the one others adapt to. He walked into a room with clarity, stillness, presence, purpose, silent confidence. People felt his energy shift the dynamic. People adjusted their tone around him. People recalibrated themselves subconsciously. This is not magic. It is the result of a mastered mind. When you know your direction, control your emotions, reveal nothing, stay centered, maintain calm power, act with precision, you become the fixed point in the chaos of the world. Everyone else rotates around you. This is the ultimate samurai strategy. Be the anchor, not the wave. Be the mountain, not the wind. Be the presence that shapes the environment, not the one shaped by it. The final realization: your life is your battlefield. Thinking like a samurai is not about learning ancient combat. It's about mastering the battlefield of modern life. The battle for your mind. The battle for your focus. The battle for your discipline. The battle for your purpose. The battle for your future. The battle for your inner peace. Most people lose these battles before they begin. Samurai win them long before they strike. Because samurai victory begins in the mind and radiates into action. So remember the principles. See the battle before it begins. Control your inner enemy. Choose battles wisely. Move slow, strike fast. Think from the end. Reveal nothing. Observe everything. Win without fighting. Eliminate fear. Live present. Prioritize precision. Become the anchor. When you embody these, you won't just think like a samurai. You'll move through life like one. Calm, dangerous, focused, strategic, masterful. A man who wins before the world even knows he's fighting.